3:30 here on the Burns Gambo Show on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader, flagship home of the Phoenix Suns. Big offseason for them. Big week coming up for the Phoenix Mercury with the WNBA All-Star Game in downtown Phoenix, the unveiling of Diana Taurasi Court and the practice facility. A perfect time, and we are very, very glad to welcome into the show the owner of the Suns and Mercury, Mat Ishbia, joining us here on Burns Gambo. Matt, welcome back to the program. How does this call find you today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, guys. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Matt. Did I see you going to go out to support Booker and Durant in the Olympics?
Yeah, I'm trying to get out there for hopefully the medal round out there the first week or the August 5th, 6th that week. So hopefully we'll see him in the gold medal and see him bring it home.
That would be awesome. If it was in Italy, I would say if you need a translator, I'm here for you. Carry the bags, translate, tour guide. I could help you with all of that stuff. All right. Let's take a quick look back on last season. High expectations for the team. They did win 49 games, and the big three really only played half the amount of time together. They only played 41 games together. Ultimately, the team lost in the first round, got swept by Minnesota. Injuries were a factor. I know you don't want to use that as an excuse, but what was your overall view of the season, and how much of the lack of the success at the end do you think had to do with coaching and why you made a coaching change?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, we love our team. We love our guys. We did not have the season we wanted. When you have championship expectations, when you don't get a championship, you're disappointed. And so we were disappointed with the way the season went and the way the season is finished for sure. 49 wins is still very good, but we wanted more, to be fair. We didn't want to be a 6th seed. And, getting swept out of the playoffs is the last thing we thought would happen and the last thing we wanted to happen. So now there's some things to it. You can talk about continuity our first year together. You can talk about, injuries. You can talk about a lot of stuff, but, every team has that stuff, so we're not going to use those as excuses. But I will say that those things are going to be hopefully more in our favor in this season, with continuity, with a full year of them together. We have a point guard. We know who's starting, where they're starting, what they're going to be doing. We have a coach that I think is I think our last coach is a very good coach. He does a lot of great things. But for our team, the new coach, Coach Bud, is a much better fit for what we're trying to accomplish and for our guys. And that's one thing an owner and GM we had to learn and figure it out. And so we feel really great about our season coming forward. We like our draft picks. We like the free agents we have, and we love our team. And so we're excited to be able to keep them together, which was a challenge, and we got it done.
You have made an incredible investment in this year's team. The first $400 million NBA team, $223 in salaries, another $200 in tax. You've always said that if you believe that the team has a chance to win, that you're going to be all in. And I know the fans love that. What has made you believe that this team is worth that type of investment?
Yeah, so absolutely. My perspective is, you got Devin Booker, franchise player. You got Kevin Durant, one of the top 10, 15 players of all time. And you got Brad Beal, who's, a top 30 player. Obviously he scored 30 points in the game, a couple years ago. And, getting him acclimated to our system and what we're trying to do. I think if 2 or 3 are the best players in the NBA, most teams don't even have one of those guys. And so we feel great about having that star power. And then we got to build the right piece around him and have the right coaching and leadership all around it too. And so we feel good enough. If I didn't feel we had a chance to win an NBA championship, I promise you we would not have the highest salary and highest luxury tax in NBA history. We wouldn't be doing it. I always say that that's not a reason for us not to build a team, but I'm not silly with money. I don't throw money away. But I'm a fan too. I want to put the best team out there. We love Grayson Allen. We love Royce O'Neal, who we had to re-sign both of us. We had to re-sign Bol and Okogie. We signed these guys because, one, continuity is going to matter, and two, these are good players that we just got to continue to build together. And so I believe in this team, and I know, I'm out of the owners' meetings right now in Las Vegas before I come to Phoenix. A lot of the other owners and GMs, and they all know what our team is. I don't think anyone out there that's in the basketball thinks that we're not competing for a championship next year. I know some fans are disappointed and people get disappointed, but we're trying our best, and hopefully people recognize that that's my job, is to do our best and try to put the best product on the court.
Mat Ishbia, our guest here on the Burns Gambo Show, as we're talking with the owner of the Suns and the Mercury in advance of the WNBA All-Star Game and in the middle of the Suns offseason. You mentioned that you're there with the other owners right now. Other teams have obviously strayed far, far away from this second tax apron because of all the punishments and all the things that you have to deal with it. You, on the other hand, you've taken the ship and you've kind of turned it right into the storm without any hesitation at all. You've kind of explained your philosophy as to why, but go a little deeper into tell me why you've been so lack of hesitation when it comes to choosing to do this with this basketball team right now?
Well, first off, the second apron, everyone likes to talk about it, and it's like this. It's like a nice way for other teams and owners to hide behind why they don't re-sign players. It's not the second apron that's scaring people off. It's the luxury tax went up substantially as well. So it's the luxury tax numbers are like 5, then it went up to like 9. I mean, it's massive numbers. That's why my luxury tax is so high. That scares off a lot. You saw the Clippers, who has a very rich owner, they decided to not go forward with Paul George. You saw Denver, their championship team, 2 players in the last 2 years have left. And so the way I look at it is it's luxury tax, and then the second apron restrictions, it definitely has some things, but the second apron doesn't impact you as much unless you're there for 3 out of 4 years. If we're there 3 out of 4 years, that will become an issue because then our draft picks get frozen, our draft picks go to the back of the draft. There's some negative things down there, not as far in the future, but it's still an impact. So we're very aware of the rules. I understand them better than I'd like to admit. Our GM, James Jones, knows them. Josh Bartleston, our CEO, we're very involved with every detail of it. And I just think a lot of people like to hide under the second apron as why they're not going to keep their team together or why they're not going to pay the players. And that's not really my perspective of why that's going on. So we're leading with our chin. We're saying we're all in. The Phoenix Suns, the fans deserve a championship, and we're going to put everything we can to try to make it happen. Does that mean we're going to win? No, but it does mean we're going to try. They're never going to question, our heart and our passion for it.
At some point, do the restrictions, and you mentioned some of the restrictions that are potentially coming up in the next couple of years, at some point, do those restrictions become too much for you to bear? And if so, what will sort of be the determining factor when you say, you know what, this is too rich for my blood. We got to downshift. We got to do something different because this is about to happen or that's about to happen. Or is it based off of your roster and their ability to compete? When do you decide it might be time to downshift if that decision ever comes, Matt?
Well, it just comes down to that 3 out of 4 years, right? So there's certain rules that really impact you if you're 3 out of 4 years. So last year didn't even count. So the next 2 years, we're going to be in the second apron, and we're going to be very expensive. Luxury tax is going to be high this year. It's going to be high again next year, right? And we're going to compete, and then we're going to see how we do. And then the third year, we have to try to get out of it. That would probably be the best and most intelligent decision because that would make it so our picks are not frozen and not pushed to the back of the draft in 2032 or 2033. I mean, we're far out in the future, but we still are very prudent with that because we're trying to be competitive all the time, not just for 2 years and off for the next 5 years. So we're very aware of those rules. But at the same time, if we're on the cusp of a championship, we'll have to make those calculated decisions. We're here to try to win a championship, and then when we win one, we're going to try to figure out how to win another one. That's what we're going to try to do. That's our goal. Does it guarantee it? Absolutely not. But I promise you, it gives us a better chance than a lot of other teams because there's probably 20 teams in the league right now that know they have zero chance of winning a championship next year, and we are not one of them.
I want to applaud you for standing up for your players the way you did, especially the ridiculous Kevin Durant rumors that were going on for a week or two all summer long. I mean, it's garbage. We know it's garbage. You are the kind of new at this ownership group, but to see you go out there, stick up for your player, let everybody know that's not the case. Then I think a week later, Kevin Durant was saying the same thing. I've had great communication with the owner, the GM, everybody involved. So I just want to get your thoughts on just how crazy that the national media is sometimes when they're putting out these ridiculous rumors. And again, applaud you for sticking up for your players and saying what needed to be said.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Thanks for the kind words. And, here's what I say. A lot of times, and you guys know this, the national media and some media, they don't let the facts get in the way of a good story, right? A good story, and I think Kevin even realized, you push the KD wants to leave button, and it creates a whole rift of excitement and stories and talk, and it's all BS, right? And so the reality is I'm going to stick up for my players. I'm going to be – I don't follow the owner manual. There's no owner's manual. I'm going to be who I am. And some owners will just stay quiet and not say anything. Some owners will not go into luxury tax. Some owners will not care about certain fan experience. I'm who I am. And one of the things my players know, that I got their back. And you know what? I know they've got my back too. And that's how we do it here in Phoenix. And whether that works or not, we'll find out. But that's the way we are. That's who I am. And I'm staying true to it. And so that kind of stuff, there's always anyone can say whatever they want. Doesn't mean it's true. And so we'll try to back it up with some facts and clarify it stuff. for our team. Hopefully our fans know who we are and what we're about. And if we're going to make a trade or make a decision, we'll have rationale behind it. But the Kevin Durant stuff was just silly.
Yeah. I love the Monty Morris edition. I liked Monty Morris a lot more than I even liked Kyle Lowry, to be honest with you. The plan last year was to keep the ball in Book's hands and Beal's hands and KD's hands. In retrospect, when you look back, was it a mistake not having a traditional point guard? And how much do you think Monty Morris is going to help this team? You went out and you got him in free agency.
Yeah, well, if you look back last year, we had Jordan Goodwin, who we thought could be 20 minutes a game as a backup point guard. He was in the role for a while, and I think he kind of was out of the rotation before we ended up trading him at the trade deadline. Monty Morris is a whole other level above that, right? Multiple levels above that. And so Monty Morris is a veteran, great shooter, great guy, fits in really well, great assist-to-turnover ratio. And so how he'll fit in, obviously Coach Bud will make that decision, but he really likes him. And I think, last year also we weren't sure, was it Beal or Booker going to be the point guard when all those guys were out there? I think it's a little more clear that Brad can do it. He did a great job for the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. Obviously didn't have the playoff run that he'd hoped, but he had a great 4 or 5 weeks leading up to it, if you guys remember, at point guard, doing a lot of things. So I think that, along with Monty Morris, along with Booker doing his thing off the ball, Durant off the ball, and obviously a new leader and a coach, Mike Budenholzer, who is not only a great coach, but he's a great leader of men. And you're going to see a big difference with some of the things he does and how he runs the team. And he'll make those decisions. Obviously not me and not the GM and not the CEO. The coach makes those decisions, and we believe him and trust him, and we feel great about Monty Morris at the point guard spot.
Mat Ishbia, our guest on the Burns Gambo Show, for this exclusive conversation with the owner of the Suns and the Mercury here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. I want to ask you about Coach Bud, because you've referenced him a few times, and I want to ask what in your mind sets him up for better success to communicate maybe a little more effectively with your top 3 players than perhaps the previous coach did. Was that sort of the root of why this decision was made and why the coaching change happened?
Yeah, I think our last coach was a very good basketball coach, and he fits in well and did some good things. But for our team, and it's not because of offense, defensive expertise, for our team, what we need is a great leader and a great, like a CEO of a coach, and someone that holds people accountable, that pushes people, that's a known winner throughout the league. He won in San Antonio. He competed at a high level in Atlanta. He won a championship in Milwaukee as the head coach. I think he's in a class above most coaches in the NBA, and so we're really lucky to have him, and I'm really excited to see him. Since he's been here in a short time, it's just the focus, the energy, the attention to detail is just at a level that is very, very impressive. I'll say it that way. And so we'll see how it shakes out. I think it's a big difference. And I think we have a good opportunity with the players we have and the couple additions we made in this coach to compete at the highest level. And, instead of winning 49 games, maybe we win 54, 53, 55, and put ourselves in a better position and go compete in the playoffs and have a better chance to hopefully win a championship.
Did you consult with your players before making that move, Matt?
Absolutely. I talk to the players. It's not just me. Josh Bartelstein does a great job. James Jones does a great job. We're all very collaborative. We're a team. We're trying to make decisions the best, and we don't always make the right decisions. I promise you that. But we all care, and we're all about it. I don't just make unilateral decisions without consulting with some of those top players, but really most of the players through the whole organization.
I think there's a method to the madness. You bring back Royce O'Neal, you bring back Josh Okogie at a salary higher than the vet minimum. And from the outside looking in, it looks like you guys did a really good job to set yourself up to be players at the trade deadline if you need to go out and get a missing piece. So was there a little bit of a method to the madness so you'd be able to be active and try to go after a player you may need at the deadline?
Well, I think, back to the second apron stuff, there are certain restrictions, and you have to understand them. And so some people are scared of them and never been in the second apron, so you're going to start to figure out that's an advantage. We've been in the second apron. I understand the rules. We understand what the restrictions are, and so you can't aggregate players, and so you can only trade one player for 1 or 2 back or 3. You can get as many back as you want as long as it's under that salary. And so, having bird rights means a lot. And so having the bird rights on those guys, being able to pay them, put them in a contract that's well-deserved by them, and at the same time we have more flexibility, that makes sense. But the truth is, we really like Royce a lot. We love Josh Okogie. We think he does a lot of great things. Bull, we got him back on a minimum. That's a recruiting job, and that's, kudos to the coaches and players. he wants to be around those guys. He's going to be a great part of the team hopefully next year. And so getting these guys to want to stay in Phoenix and be part of it is a big deal. And so, yeah, we understand the second apron rules. We understand the restrictions, and we're trying to do our best to navigate it all.
Matt Ishbia, our guest here on the Burns Gambo Show. And obviously, this is a big week for you. This is a big week for the organization. Everyone gearing up for the WNBA All-Star Game coming up this weekend. I know you've got a big unveiling, I believe, coming up tomorrow. You're going to be heading back into town for that. Gauge the level of excitement for the organization as you guys kind of embark on this big event and this big unveiling and hosting the game coming up.
Yeah, very excited. Hopefully you've seen it around town and the airports everywhere, the excitement, the energy around the WNBA All-Star Game. Obviously, the WNBA is doing amazing things, and it's on a growth trajectory that's fantastic. And hopefully everyone's going to see what we do with this All-Star Game. It's obviously sold out, and Friday and Saturday both going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of entertaining things going on, really just trying to put our stamp, our Phoenix way of doing things, which is doing everything first class. All the players are going to be here from the Olympic team along with All-Stars. And so they're going to see our new practice facility, which we're going to name Diana Taurasi Court, well-deserved after her. And it's going to just be a great, great weekend of celebration of the WNBA, recognition of the Phoenix Mercury, all the great things we're doing, and trying to elevate the game together. So we're really excited about it. It's going to be a great, great weekend.
Tell us, you've got one of the best practice facilities in all of basketball, and naming the courts after Diana. Tell me a little bit about how that came to be, and then your conversation with her and how she reacted when you told her the news.
Well, it came to be is, the Phoenix Mercury and Diana Taurasi are aligned, synonymous with one another. I mean, she's been here the whole time. She's won 3 championships here. She's now going to go to her 6th Olympics right now. And she's the highest scorer of all time, many could argue, which I would argue the greatest women basketball player of all time. And so she's here. She's been here. So when we're building a brand new facility, I want to put her stamp on it. So having Diana Taurasi Court on there, making it so in 10 years, 15 years, everyone knows Diana Taurasi, the legend. She was here, and we have a lot to live up to be at that level. So she was excited. I called her about it, spent some time talking to her about it. We've been talking about it for a long time. And when I gave her the news, she was very excited and appreciative. And I told her I was appreciative that she lets me do it, because it's an honor that she wants to put her name on our court and be allowing us to do that, because she's a legend, and it's an honor to have her here. So it was a great day and a great moment, and excited to have it officially unveiled tomorrow, which you guys will hopefully be able to check it out.
Absolutely. Nate Tibbetts has done a good job with this team. You've got a winning record. Looks like they'll be heading to the playoffs with Griner back and as well as Copper's play. Just give me your thoughts on the job Nate's doing and the success the Mercury have had to date so far.
Yeah, Nate Tibbetts has done an excellent job. He's a great leader. The team really rallies around him. Nick Urin, the GM, has done a great job building this team. We had the worst record in the league last year. We obviously had a lot of injuries, a lot of things, and we've kind of built a team. We made a trade for Clea Copper. She's been a superstar. I think she's 3rd in the league in scoring right now. Just been a star across the board. But even Tasha Cloud and Beck Allen, and of course, Sophie Cunningham and Brittany Griner, who came back to our team. We've got a great, great team. And we feel good about it. We're definitely making a playoff push. I think we're the 6th overall seed out of 12 teams right now, and we're going to compete for that playoff spot, and then compete there, and then continue to get better. So Nate Tibbetts has been a great, great head coach. We're really happy with him so far, and excited about our future.
So when you head out to Paris, is the idea then that you'll try to catch both the men's and women's Olympic basketball teams while you're there, since you are so well represented in the Olympics?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, what an honor. I would get a chance to see 3 of our women on the team and 2 of our men. I mean, I don't think there's another owner in sports that has that privilege, and so it's an honor for me to be able to be part of it and go out there and cheer on our team. So I will be going, when I get out to Paris, to the men's games and the women's games, assuming they're both in the semifinals and finals of the medal round.
All right, one last one I'm going to sneak in, because I know we've got about a minute left. I just want to ask you about Kevin Durant and any concern you might have over the fact that he has yet to play for Team USA so far in these Olympic friendlies they've played.
No concern at all. I mean, I know he has a mild calf strain, and I actually would flip it the reverse way and say, makes me happy that he's obviously very conscientious of his body and making the right decision. And, he could probably play in a game today. He's just like, let me take it slow and make sure he's ready. And I've not spoke with him since in the last, couple of weeks about it, but I feel like it's the right thing. We have our medical people out there, and he's just taking it slow. I don't think they need his firepower for the exhibition game, but he's ready, really excited about it, hopefully bringing home a gold medal. And I think he's the all-time leading scorer for the men's Olympic team, if I remember correctly. And so he hopefully will build on that and do some great things.
Matt, we always appreciate having you on. We do appreciate you coming on and joining us. Talk about the Mercury, talk about the Suns, talk about the All-Star Game, the Olympics. Continued success with you. Can't wait to see the Suns drop the ball and get ready for the start of the new season.
Yeah, me too. Well, thank you guys for the support and all the fans. I'm so lucky to be in Phoenix with everybody and the support. We appreciate it so much. The players realize it, the coaches, I realize it. And so we're lucky to be part of it. Thank you for having us. And we'll definitely look forward to being on a show again sometime soon.
Appreciate it, Matt.
Thanks,
Best
Matt.
of luck. Thank you. Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Suns and the Mercury, our guest here on the Burns Gambo Show.
Thanks for watching Burns Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.